Hi all, welcome to my channel. As you already know, I'm going to talk about interview series of my previous companies. So as part of that series, today I'm going to share my Amazon interview experiences. So when it comes to Amazon interview experience, right? So the total I have applied 2 times. So back in 2021 and also in 2022, while applying for Atlassian. So let's discuss about how I got the opportunity. Let's discuss about what is the coding, how many coding rounds I have, and what is the questions I got in the coding round, and also online assessment round, and system designing round, and low level designing round, and finally hiring manager round. So now let's discuss about how I got the opportunity. So I think back in those 2 years, right? I think Amazon has most hiring. So before the firing, right? So I think I didn't apply to Amazon directly. So I got Amazon first time when I apply Amazon, right? I got by consultancy. So I upload my resume in Naukri. So some consultancy who is basically third party for Amazon, they directly reached out to me to schedule an interview with to ask me whether I'm interested with Amazon or not. So that's how I got the first opportunity. And in the second time in 2022, I got an opportunity directly. Amazon recruiter this time reached out to me via LinkedIn. So these are the two. I didn't apply directly. I applied, I think, first time when I was in BTech in third year, I think, for internship. But post that I never applied for Amazon. So now let's discuss about OA round. Both the times I have applied, right? So I got the OA link. So in the online assessment round is basically they'll ask you 2 questions. So I have applied many companies, but I didn't. Most of the companies have the camera, and most of the companies have the full monitoring everything, right? So I think Amazon don't have that kind of filtration, like a monitoring mechanism. But yeah, Amazon has total 2 questions they have asked me. First question is easy question. I think anyone can answer that one. It's mostly lead code below medium to easy question. So I have they have given me total of around 60 minutes of time for the 2 questions. I think not even 60. I think 45 minutes. I think I don't remember exactly, but somewhere around 45 to 60 minutes for these 2 questions. So first question we will complete it in 15 minutes. So it's not a very hard question. Now let's come to second question. This is basically medium to hard question. Because first question, because second question definitely it will be either DP or it will be either trees. So I got the DP question only. I didn't remember questions exactly when it comes to OA round. I remember the questions in interview round. But first question, as I said, right, it's mostly hash map and priority queue. I have done in 15 minutes. In both the variants, I got similar questions. One is first question is only hash map variation, and similarly some kind of stack variation. When it comes to second question, right, I got this DP programming, like a minimum. It's similar to maximum subarray kind of thing, but basically we require that previous array value to find the next to get the answer of the current array index. So when I am applying first time, right? So first time all the all the solutions are not passed. In the HackerRat when I'm trying to write. So around I think in first question all the test cases are passed. When it comes to second question, in around 20 test cases, only 10 test cases got passed because it might not be optimal solution back. So that time I'm not very into this DSA. So I thought of I might not be qualified, so I just take it as let's try for another time. But luckily I got qualified in the first time itself. Even though I'm only 10 test cases are passed in the second question, and first test case everything got passed, and still they have cleared for the technical round. So now let's complete the technical round, because after the technical round I didn't select it. Then we can talk about the recent application of Amazon. So in the technical round, right, they have asked me 2 questions. So actually both are linked list questions only. So first is basically I think first question is like linked list, adding a linked list, two linked list. So for example, a linked list is 1 to 1, right? If the another linked list has a 9, so we just need to make 1 3 0. I think adding of two linked lists, I think only the condition is like we have a carry, we have to create a new linked list if we have a carry, and we need to add that carry. So that's an easy question I have answered. So second question they have asked me, it's also linked list only. It's basically find a linked list is palindrome or not. So I thought it's easy. I have answered. I have given my approach. So first I have approached with first, let's say if 1 2 2 1 is there, right? So 1 2 we'll go like a fast pointer and slow pointer. Once we go to the once the slow pointer is completed, we will try to reverse from slow pointer to the till end of the linked list, and we'll compare this from beginning to slow and from the and reverse of the another part of linked list. We'll check if both are equal. We will display palindrome. Otherwise, we won't display a palindrome. That is the solution which I know. I have answered the solution, but interview is like he don't want to reverse. So without reverse, he just want me to try. So I think its interview went 60 minutes only. It's around 60 minutes. I think after writing the solution, complete solution, then he asked me, I don't want to reverse. So if he says first try to not to reverse, I may think about different solution. But I have only 5 to 10 minutes of time. So then I have suggested like double like 2 loops. So he's not convinced. So then I have suggested like storing the address values, next address values in a hash map, previous value, next address value, and likewise we can get the data from hash map and try to compare. But I am not able to get that solution back then. So I thought of, okay, if I said one question correctly, they might pass me, but I got the rejection mail. So that's about like first time when I'm applying 2 years back. So the recent in a year back when I applied, when I'm trying for SG2 opportunities, so directly Amazon person reached out to me. So the first round is as usual OA round. There are 2 questions. One is like easy question, second one is like hard question. This time as I'm prepared fairly enough in DSA, especially like most curated questions and well-known questions, I'm able to solve both the questions. Yeah, now so interviewed. So this time there is one elimination round also there before having the complete loop. So for example, in Amazon, right, OA round, and there will be 3 technical rounds. One is like a coding, second one is like a low-level designing, and third one is system designing round or hiring manager round, and fourth one is like behavioral round. So once you're qualified with OA round, right, these will be scheduled automatically, I guess. But when I'm trying to apply, they has one more round called R1 coding round, which is elimination round. So this one, okay, when it comes to once I'm qualified, that one only I'll get this I'm able to sit into these 2, like a system designing and coding, or system designing and low level designing. Depends on that, they will have a hiring manager round. So when it comes to I think the elimination technical round, right? So the first question I got is house robber. So I think you might know about. So basically, it's a tree data structure. So there is like nodes and childs are there, right? So we need to find we need to rob houses. Like everything is arranged in a tree format, and each node has like some kind of value, right? Like 5 6 some kind of value. So ultimately, once we rob the complete tree, we require a maximum, let's say maximum sum. So that's the question I got. I think I have already practiced a similar question, so I have answered fairly. So, and the second question I got is like basically I didn't remember exactly, but it's more of a combination of stacks and I think array. It's like finding. So for example, let's take this is an array. We have A, B, C kind of thing. We need to convert this into different format. Let's say bracket ABC, and how many times it was repeated? 3 times. and again there is another value, let's say CAB, how many times repeated? 3 times. Let's say I need to print like that. So I have done that problem also, but I think I have missed a few edge cases. But I think interviewer like quite happy with the solutions. So I have selected. So now I am sitting to this 3 interview loop. So in that I got the again first is like coding round only. In that coding round, interviewer asked me only single question, but that has like very subsequent, like many subsequent small questions. So it's basically find the first question I got, find a common. So it's not the question. So generally I'm saying breaking down of the problem. So first I need to solve like finding a common ancestor. So it's also tree problem. So I need to find a common ancestor for a particular common ancestor of 2 children. So once I find the common ancestor, right, the second version is like basically I need to print that path. So once I print that path, the third version is basically I need to print the direction also, like up again, right, left, again down. This kind of so when we have this leftmost child node and rightmost child node, there is a one ancestor is there. We need to have this directions, right? Up, right, and again go down, left, down. So I need to print this particular path. So once I print this particular path, then I need to find the total sum of this particular path. So as initially only interviewed, so initially we discussed almost 15 minutes on my projects only. Then interviewer said I'll only ask one question. This is the question they have asked, and he's saying he might not be expect all the problems to be completed, but at least you might reach at a certain level where I am convinced. So I have completed this finding a common ancestor, and I have completed this printing the path, and I have given an approach of I'm saying I had coded like, so I print the path of left path and right path also. Because of confusion, I'm printing everything is like down right, but he asked in a certain pattern, so I'm not able to do that one, and I print the total sum. So these are the problems I'm able to solve in the coding round. So it's only around 40 minutes. Then in the last 10 minutes, he asked me like lot of behavioral questions. So tell me about a time where you get a conflict with manager, or tell me about a time where you proactively solve the bug in the production with very less time. So these are the questions they have asked me, but mostly the questions they have asked me, which mostly aligns with my resume, whatever I mentioned in my resume. So sometimes I mention is like completely build this particular thing from a scratch. So then they have asked me like, tell me about a time your design is like not scalable, how you have mitigated. So these are the few questions they have asked in the last 5 minutes of last 5 to 10 minutes of interview. So in the next is like a system designing round. So in the system designing round, I got so first we'll discuss. It's more of open discussion. So the first first we discuss about my project. So what I am working on in my previous past companies. So I have mentioned like I have implemented a payment gateway from scratch. Then again I have mentioned like I have built a system called anomaly detection engine. So these are the various projects I have mentioned in my resume. So almost 20 minutes interviewer keep on discussing on only these concepts only. So then he asked me, he told me 2 questions and asked me to select anyone so that we can go discuss more on that. So the first question is like design a Amazon rewarding system. Like when you buy, let's say when you do any Amazon Pay, right? So when you book anything from an Amazon, or when you do Amazon Pay, we'll get some rewards, like we'll get some scratch cards. So I think he asked me to build this one, or second one is like design a distributed logger. So I don't know what to choose, because both I completely don't know. So I know the concepts of system design, but I don't know how to combine everything. So Then I think I said as I've already worked in like anomaly detection, I have worked on like this Kafka and Elasticsearch everything. Then I said okay, I can talk about like a distributed logger. So this time they have asked me like a lot of questions. I have given a skeleton. So how the distributed logger. Then it's not about like printing everything. So it's like basically there are like a lot of micro services are there. So we need to capture all the errors whenever there are multiple log labels are there, right? Log.info, log.debug, log.errors. So whenever we get a more number of errors, let's say in a certain threshold of this particular level, we need to trigger an alert or we need to notify the developers or people. So this is the kind of system they asked me to build. So I have explained using let's say initial as we have a log4j there, right? A library in the Java in each service, and we have a Kafka is there to we can push those all the logs in the Kafka, and then to aggregate and find the count we can go with an Elasticsearch, and then I have used this like notification. And while triggering, I have talked about this retry mechanism whenever it's failure, and persisting in in-memory DB till the particular message got successfully delivered. So it's basically a very complex system. I have talked about almost all the components and each like what is the data look like, and also I have talked about like infos might not be required so customers might be more developers might be more interested in like any warnings or like errors, then how to prioritize those and ignore, and we can do these things in a batch as there is a possibility of like more number of volumes when it comes to info logs. So and also it's been a year back, right? I am not completely remember what I have talked over there. So yeah, I have talked enough, but the thing about Amazon is like they'll talk about in a scale. So initially also I clarified the functional requirements and non-functional requirements. So initially we agreed for till 1 million logs or like let's say per day kind of thing, 100 million logs, and then slowly this volume got increased. Suddenly he said like okay, no, let's say 1 billion logs. He increased from million to billion. How do you scale your system effectively? Then I talked about like this replicas and also storing logs in each region, and basically and also storing data in each database in a region specific, and then applying the sharding all those data, and then again getting back from them and sending to the Elasticsearch, and then sending to the Kafka kind of thing. So yeah, I didn't remember, but the question is more of like design a distributed logger with a alert mechanism. This is the question I got. I think interviewers might be happy, I'm not sure, but when I asked feedback, he said like it's mostly open discussion. There is no good answer and bad answer. They'll mostly judge on based on whatever I have, based on like how I approached it. So yeah, this is about like what do you call like system designing round, and now let's comes to hiring manager round. So in the hiring manager this is basically, I think this is mostly not completely hiring manager round. It's also a combination of low level designing, system designing, and hiring and normal managerial questions. So what happened is like, so firstly it's more of introduction about myself and everything. Then they asked me a small problem of small medium based coding question. It's involved DP, but it's not very hard. Like mostly if anyone followed like that sheets, right, anyone can solve. So next they'll go about like mostly about DB, like when you choose particular DB or when to choose this particular DB, and they'll talk about like this concurrency issues, and then she asked me about like some more in-depth concepts on this uh, on this like best practices, and also he asked, like I have built my system right in my previous companies. So he asked me, okay, this is the component which I am thinking not work. Once I explained like what is the system, then she asked me like how you will scale the system now. So how your system handle like millions of load, and also almost 20 minutes they asked me the behavioral questions only, like tell me about a time when when you and your peer person got a conflict, how you resolved. So, or tell me about a time you missed the deadline of or you missed a release deadline, like submitting a not able to solve the complete the story in time. So how you have mitigated, how you have overcome that one. So tell me about it when you feel stressed in a team. So how you have managed. There are like a lot of behavioral questions, more than I think more than what you call like this coding question, everything. So almost 30 minutes went into these behavioral questions only. That time whatever it comes to my mind, I simply answered. So I have gone through that Amazon leadership principles, right? Leadership principles. So mostly questions I got from the leadership principle only. So yeah, once I got these 3 interviews, then finally there will be one behavioral bar raiser round or something is there. So what happened is like parallelly I'm also attending interviews for Atlassian also, like. So in a single day, morning I attended Atlassian interview, and evening I'm attending Amazon interview, like. So turnaround time of like Amazon is like for especially for bar riser round is like a bit more. They took almost 1 week time to respond back. But meanwhile, Atlassian said like selected, like. So before giving an interview of like that last round of Amazon, so I have discussed with few seniors and watched a few blogs about this Amazon culture. I know like Amazon culture is not pretty good, but yeah, the team which I was going to join, right, like that complete org, it basically has some bad work-life balance, and yeah, and also more working hours. So I would just want to choose like good work-life balance company. So and mostly wherever I asked, like all the people said good about like Atlassian. So I have stopped that attending the interview itself. Like when it comes to Amazon, I would have negotiated with that Atlassian, but I thought like okay, I'm already fully stressed, like attending a lot of interviews. I'm completely like what do you call like packed up. So that's why I thought of having some break. So that's why I just stopped giving Amazon. So I might be selected for Amazon. So one thing I understand is like Amazon interviews are not very tough, but but yeah, they will ask you the tough questions, but not very tough. And when it comes to system designing round, they will talk you more about scale. So how you will scale to. So what happened is like for example, from million to suddenly he goes to billion. I have did some changes and able to convince to billion. Then he suddenly talked about like petabytes. Then I don't know how to handle that much load because if I'm talking to if I am building a system in general, right, I can talk, but so whenever you got a very specific systems to build very specific modules, then it's very hard to convince the interviewer like with increasing the load. So whoever preparing that particular specific system designing questions instead of general interview questions, just please take care about like load factor also. So and also they will equally give priority to the leadership Amazon the leadership principles, all 15 or 16 I guess. So if you didn't do well in that one, even though you did well in coding questions, then you will still be rejected. So this is my interview with Amazon. Luckily I didn't join because whenever the recent layoffs, right, so mostly the team which I was, that org which I was interviewed, right, almost 10,000 people are like lay off from that org only. So yeah, I thought then I might regret, like, because Amazon will give me better pay when it comes to Atlassian, because I didn't negotiate with Atlassian. Whatever they have given, I just simply take it, because I just want to move as soon as possible, because the current company which I'm working, which I'm not very like, and very old tech stack. So that's why I just accepted. But yeah, finally I'm happy, like, currently, like, so I got a lot of opportunities to learn in Atlassian, and yeah, a lot more things. Yeah. So this is about like Amazon interview experience. So I hope people who are like watching, and you got some idea, right? What are the questions they will ask? Like, mostly they will ask trees and DP. I think I didn't got any graph question, but I got DP, trees in all the interviews, like in every round. So when it comes to system designing round, they will ask you instead of general question, they will ask you build a specific feature, and they'll go in depth and more of leadership principle questions. So be prepare some standard template of each question so that you can answer like without any stucking at anywhere, without any stucking at anywhere. Yeah. So in the next videos, I'll talk about like other companies which already posted in the LinkedIn, right? So about like Flipkart, Walmart, Payball, I think around Salesforce, Indo IT. So all those companies I'll talk about. So if you like the video, please subscribe and please share. And to your friends who are preparing for Amazon, or in general who wants to know about like interview culture about at Amazon, or also interview questions. So we'll soon meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye.